happening, guys? It's Nagpal for iGyaan.in, and today we're going to be doing a mega benchmark for you guys. So we have all the canvas series from Micromax, at least the higher end ones, and we're going to be doing a benchmark comparison between the Canvas 2, which is the A110, the Canvas A116 or the Canvas HD. We have the Canvas 3D over here, the A115. We have the Canvas Doodle, the A111. And we have the Canvas Music, the A88. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to open up quadrant standard on all 5 of these, actually, not even 4, 5. I'm going to ensure that I'm connected to Wi-Fi on all so that we don't have any issues later on. And just to give you a comparison between the system information, I'm going to run through it real quick for you guys. The Canvas 2 has a 1 GHz dual core processor. The Canvas HD has a 1.2 GHz quad core processor. The Canvas 3D has a 1 GHz dual core processor, same as the Canvas 2. The Canvas Doodle has a 1.2 GHz quad core processor, and the Canvas A88 Music has a 1 GHz dual core processor. So just a quick comparison for the processors, and it's time to run a full benchmark. Now, since I don't have 5 fingers to do it together, I'm going to do it one by one. Hopefully all of them should finish out together. Okay, so despite of being started second last, the Canvas Doodle came out first. Then it was the Canvas HD, the Canvas 2, the Canvas 3D, and the A88 in that order. So let's look at the scores. So let's start with the Canvas 2. Canvas 2 scores 2985. The Canvas HD scores 3892. Canvas 3D scores 2971, almost same compared to the Canvas 2, but slightly less. The Canvas Doodle scores a pretty impressive 4500, so it is at a higher performance level than even the Canvas HD. And the Canvas Music scores 2971, again just like the Canvas 2. So essentially the Canvas 2, the Canvas 3D, and the Canvas Music have the same processor on the inside. So this time around we're going to run Nina Mark on all these devices, and as you can see it's already running, and in most of them we've already run it. On the Canvas Doodle is going to be a first, and on the A88 it's going to be a first. So let's go ahead. So maximum score has come on the Canvas HD, 40.7 FPS on the Canvas HD. If we go over to the Canvas 2 right now, you can see 22.9 FPS. If we come over here to the Canvas Doodle, you can see a score of 34.7 FPS. And if we come to the Canvas 3D, you can see a score of 23.6 or 23.9, which has been the best. And if we come over to the Canvas Music, you can see 22.8 FPS. So that's Nina Mark. And the last thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to run a full AnTuTu benchmark for you guys on all these devices. So again, in most of the cases, you can see that we've already run this test, and you do see previous scores. But it's time to run it on the 2 new devices, which is the Doodle and the Music. So let's go ahead and do a full test on AnTuTu. Canvas 2 test is complete. It says 6472 as the total score, CPU at 2411, RAM at 1143, 2082 is the GPU, and input output is 806. The Canvas HD is still trying to finish, and I think it's going to finish just about now. And the Canvas HD scores an impressive 12769. The CPU is at 6099, RAM at 2009, GPU at 3767, and input output at 894. The Canvas 3D or the A115 scores a 6386, which is quite disappointing for the device. You only get a 2-star rating. 2463 is the CPU, 2238 is the GPU, 1140 is the RAM, and input output is at 545. Now if we come over to the Canvas Doodle or the A111, it has a quad-core CPU, but the overall benchmark score is only 8770 versus the Canvas HD, which had a 12800 approximately. The CPU on this is 3658, RAM 1687, the GPU is at 2656, and input-output is at 769. And finally, if we come over to the Canvas Music, the A88, you can see a total score of 5354, CPU is at 2431, RAM at 1111, and GPU at 1025, input output at 787. So on top comes the Canvas HD. The Canvas HD has a 1280 by 720 pixel display, a nice quad-core processor, 1 GB of RAM, and an 8 megapixel camera out back, which does do full HD video. On the second is the Canvas A111 or the Canvas Doodle. It also has a quad-core processor. It has 512 megabyte of RAM. Also has a smaller display in terms of resolution, so you have 480 by 854 pixels on the display, but you do get a capacitive pen and a flip cover out of the box. The price is around 12,000 rupees. Third on the list is the Canvas 2, available for 10,000 rupees. You have a WEGA display, 480 by 854 pixels, 5-inch display. You have a dual core processor, 512 megabyte of RAM, and an 8 megapixel at the back. Fourth on the list is the Canvas 3D. You get 6386 on the benchmark. You also have a WEGA display, 480 by 800 pixel, a dual core 1 gigahertz CPU, but you also have a 3D stereoscopic display, which makes it a little impressive. In terms of RAM, you have only 512 megabyte of RAM. And last on the list is the Canvas A88 or the Canvas Music. Now this also has a dual core CPU, 512 megabyte of RAM, and 5 megapixel camera at the back. Your display is a smaller display, but you do have a WEGA resolution. So you get 480 by 854 pixels on a smaller screen, which makes the pixel density a lot higher. So there you go, guys. If you have any questions or queries, do see the detailed benchmark on iGyaan.in. You can also catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyaan, youtube.com/iGyaan TV. For iGyaan Networks, this has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching.